Hey Savvy people, it's Savvy Nick here, and today we'll be installing Debian Linux on VirtualBox using Windows 10 as a host computer. We'll first download Debian Linux, and then we'll create a new virtual machine, and finally we'll install Debian Linux on that virtual machine. If you're new and stopping by to watch a video today, make sure to subscribe below and hit the notification bell for more videos. I'm here on the Debian.org website where we're going to download Debian. And in order to download Debian, we're going to go ahead and choose the CD USB ISO images. And here, if we look through, we can see that we can download the CD DVD images using this link here. So we're going to go ahead and click on this. And then you can select between the rolling release testing model or the stable release model. If you don't want to be on the cutting edge, you can just go with the stable model. And that's what I'm going to do. And following that, we get to select what type of architecture we want to choose of Debian Linux. So AMD 64 stands for the 64-bit architecture that most computers run nowadays. So I'm going to go ahead and select this option. Now with all these questions being posted, we just need to scroll down to the bottom where we can see the actual downloadable images. So which one do we want to select? Well, we want this one right here, which is the latest version of Debian 10.3 stable version. The AMD 64-bit architecture with the net installer, so you will need an internet connection in order to finish this install up through your virtual machine. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, and it's going to go ahead and begin downloading. Now that I've downloaded the ISO, I'm going to launch and use the VirtualBox app. It's available at virtualbox.org, where you can download VirtualBox. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit start and then search for VirtualBox. And once I find it, I'm going to go ahead and launch it. And here's VirtualBox right here. Also, if you want to learn more about VirtualBox, check out my walkthrough and install video. It's a great place to start if you're a beginner. I'll make sure to go ahead and put a link in the description below. VirtualBox is an open source software for virtualization of machines. Simply put, you can emulate a computer through the use of the software. I already have Kali Linux here available to me. That's because I've installed it previously. But what I want to install today is Debian Linux off of the image that we just got done downloading. So what I'm going to do is go to Tools and select New to create a new virtual machine. I'm going to call this one Debian Linux. And as you can see here, it actually filled in all the information for me because it detected that Debian is a type of Linux, and it selected the Debian 64-bit architecture automatically for me for emulation. If it didn't do it for you, you can hit the drop down and select the same settings. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit Next. Here's where we get to specify the physical memory size of our RAM. And most Linux distributions require at least 2 gigs of memory, but if you have more available, it's always better to give the system more than give it less. So I'm going to go ahead and just give it 8 gigs since I have plenty available here, up to 32 gigs as you can see. Just make sure you don't give it too much where you starve your own system. As you can see, it gives you little labels here for telling you what's getting close to being too much and red being way too much. Once you go ahead and put in your memory size, go ahead and hit Next. Following that, we're going to create a virtual hard disk now. So this is a brand new virtual hard disk. We don't want to use an existing one. Like you can see here, Kali Linux, I have another one for that one. Instead, create a brand new one. So the default option is fine. I'm going to go ahead and hit create. Following that, we can select between what type of format we want to select for our hard disk. And I'm just going to use the VDI format since it's native to VirtualBox. Then I'm going to go ahead and hit next. Here we get to choose between 2 options, a fixed size or a dynamically allocated. In most cases, you'll just want to use the dynamically allocated because it saves storage space on your computer. If it's not being used, it doesn't allocate it, but it does fix the size of the disk so it can't grow infinitely. So I'm going to go ahead and select that and hit next. Following that, you'll want to select the size of your hard disk. So I suggest doing at least 32 gigs for your system. Otherwise, you might have trouble installing Linux distributions. I know I've ran into issues in the past, so I'm going to go ahead and put at least 32 gigs. You can, of course, specify more, up to, I guess, this 2 terabyte limit. I'm going to go ahead and create. And now you can see I have a Debian Linux virtual machine available to me. But before we start it, we're going to go into settings. That way we can set a few things before starting it up. The first thing I want to do is go into System, and under the motherboard, I want to enable the EFI. That way I can test with EFI BIOS, which most computers nowadays have anyway, so it's nice to just select that option if you want to test with the latest and greatest BIOS settings. Next, I'm going to go to the processor, and if you have more than 1 core available to you, you can specify multiple cores. I'm just going to put in at least 2 cores for myself. If you don't have that availability, you can go ahead and keep it at 1 core, and it allows you to specify all the way up to 16 cores. Following that, the last thing I want to look at is the storage. In the storage, I have 2 controllers, an IDE and a SATA. The SATA is my hard disk that I've just got done creating, as you can see, about 32 gigs here. Since it's dynamically allocated, it says the actual size is only 2 megabytes right now, and that's the benefit of using dynamically allocated storage, because it doesn't take up the full 32 gigs until it's actually being used by your virtual machine. Following all that, I'm going to go over here to the controller IDE, and it says empty right here, and this is our optical disk where we want to insert the image that we just got done downloading. I'm going to go ahead to the right hand side and click choose a disk file. And now I can see in my downloads folder that I have this Debian 10.3 AMD64 net installer image. I'm going to go ahead and select that and hit open. After all that's done, I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And now I can go ahead and launch my instance of Debian Linux here. A little more information before we start our virtual machine in VirtualBox. VirtualBox is developed by Oracle, and thanks to them, we have a very powerful free virtualization software, which is more than suitable for most computers. Virtualization just refers to a process where you can create a virtual machine in an emulated environment, such as VirtualBox. And a virtual machine is just a platform that runs an emulated computer with the hardware and resources that are available alongside your main computer in a virtual environment. So what I'm going to do now is select Debian Linux and hit the start button. This will launch our virtual machine, and as you can see here, it's saying select a startup disk. So the one that we already have selected is fine. As you can see, it says Debian. I'm going to go ahead and hit start and give it a few moments to just boot up here. Following that, you can see now we have our machine running, and it's in the installer for Debian. So what I'm going to do is actually put it in a different mode. I like to go ahead and put it in the scaled mode. That way it kind of scales the output of the display so we can see it a little better. The first thing I'm going to select here in my virtual machine is the graphical install method. That way we can begin installing Debian Linux on this virtual machine. So if you made it this far, please hit the like button. It really does help me out. I'm going to go ahead and select the English language for my install, and I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. Next, it's asking for your location. United States works for me. Select your location and hit continue. It's asking me what kind of keyboard do I use. I use the American English formatted keyboard, so I'm going to hit continue since that's the default. And it's just going to load a few components here before we can continue the install. Now we're ready to go ahead and configure our network. You can type in a host name. This is what other computers on the network will recognize this Debian Linux virtual machine as. So I'm just going to put in SavvyNick and hit continue. Following that, if you have a domain name that you would like to use for your local computer, you can go ahead and put it in. Otherwise, you can leave it blank and just hit continue. The next thing we're being asked here is to set up our root password. So this is the root user with administrative privileges. Go ahead and put a password in, and then make sure to go ahead and confirm that password. After that, you can hit continue here. So here we're asked if we want to create a new user besides the root user. If you do, you can go ahead and put your full name in now, so SavvyNick for me. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. You can also skip this part and not create a user. That way you only have one user, and that's the super user root user. So I'm going to go ahead and continue creating one. This is of course not going to have any administrative privileges. So the username for your account, SavvyNick works for me. And now we're asked for a password for that username. So I'm going to put mine in, and then I'm going to go ahead and confirm that password and hit continue. Following that, we're asked what time zone that we're in. I'm going to go ahead and put Hawaii for today and hit continue. Another neat thing about VirtualBox is that it's available for most platforms, including Mac OS, Windows, and Linux. It really doesn't matter what system you're using because the layout of VirtualBox doesn't really change, so you'll be familiar with it on any host platform where you choose to install it on. Following that, we have these 3 options here, either to use the guided entire disk method, the guided entire disk method with an LVM, a logical volume management scheme, which allows you to resize your storage space later in the game if you need to, a little bit easier, and then a guided method using the entire disk and LVM and encrypted. Encryption just means that it's going to go ahead and ask you for a password every time that you log into the computer for both your storage space as well as your user. So I'm going to go ahead and just select the first option of default and hit continue. So if everything turned out all right, you'll see this about 32 gigs of a SATA VBox hard disk. So this is the one that we just got done setting up for our virtual machine. You can tell because it's the only one available, as well as it matches very closely to the amount that we applicated for the system. It does say note that all your data on the disk you selected will be erased. This is not a big deal for us because we know we just created a brand new disk. So as long as this is the only one listed and you're confident that that's the disk that you just got done creating in your virtual machine, you shouldn't have any problems because this currently has nothing on it anyway. So once we go ahead and select the disk, we can go ahead and hit continue. Following that, we have 3 different partitioning schemes. I'm just going to go ahead and select the first one since it's recommended for new users and hit continue. Following that, we're told what the system's going to do in order to partition our disks and what it's going to look like after it's all set up. I'm going to go ahead and select the finish partitioning and write changes to disk option and hit continue. And it says, do you want to write changes to the disk? Well, yes, because I am ready to go ahead and do so. I know that there's no data on the disk that I have selected because I just got done creating it. So I'm going to go ahead and select yes and continue. At this point, it's going to go ahead and install the base system and run through most of the installer. Debian is a great distribution and many other distributions are based off of it. Debian is totally free, and because of the Debian community's focus on stability, it's one of the most reliable Linux distributions out there. Debian is also tailored for intermediate to advanced users and is great for using as a server or a firewall setup. They mainly cover the middle ground here, where the barriers of entry are large enough that some of the new users will steer away from this distribution, but with the vast documentation and helpful community, it should be a reason new users decide to go with Debian. It's great for learning and expanding your knowledge about operating systems, making it a great and powerful learning tool for you to use. All right, and now we are configuring the package manager. It's basically asking us whether or not we have other CDs, DVDs that we want to insert and install stuff with. We don't, so I'm going to go ahead and select no and hit continue. After that, we're going to select a mirror here, the closest one to us, so make sure you select whatever country you're in and hit continue. Now we're given a list of mirrors. This one's fine for me, the default. You can select whatever one's closest to you. If you have a proxy, you can go ahead and put it in here with this type of a format. I don't, so I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. Now the system's configuring the package manager. Here we're asked if we want to go ahead and participate in the package usage. I'm going to go ahead and keep the default, which is no, and hit continue. Now this is an important step. If you don't select any kind of a desktop environment, it will not install one automatically for you. So that means that you'll just get a terminal where you can enter commands in unless you select one. I'm going to go ahead and go with the default, which is GNOME, and put a check here in order to install it. You can also install other things such as a print server, SSH server, and a web server. I do suggest getting the standard system utilities. These are standard system tools that you need in order to run Debian. So it's nice to go ahead and have these and not have to install them later. So if you have a desktop environment selected, you can select, of course, between any of the other ones. If you want to look them up, make sure you do in order to figure out which graphical user interface you like the best. And go ahead and hit continue. Now the Debian install will finish up. It will take a few moments because it has to retrieve all the files from the internet and then finish installing them. And when you get to this screen, the installation is finally complete. It's time to go ahead and reboot the computer by hitting continue. So we can go ahead and do that real quick. Give it a few moments here to restart this virtual machine. We got an error here, but this is really just a false positive. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK now. And what I want to do is go ahead and check the settings for Debian Linux and go down to my storage. As you can see that the controller IDE is now empty. We don't have anything in our optical disk, so that's great because we don't want to go ahead and boot into the installer again. So I'm just confirming that, make sure it got unmounted, and now I'm going to go ahead and select Debian Linux and then hit start. This should start up our virtual machine with the newly installed operating system. I'm just going to switch back to that scaled mode that I had, and as you can see here we have the grub bootloader, and it automatically selected the first option for us, which is what we wanted. And now the system is starting, so give it a few moments. And now we're being welcomed by our login screen for our virtual machine. I'm going to go ahead and put in my password for the user I created. And now you can see we have Debian successfully installed on our virtual machine using Windows 10 through VirtualBox. I'm going to switch it to full screen mode if I just do Control F. And you can see here that we probably need to change up the display settings a little bit in order to make sure that the resolution is correct. So I'm just going to see something that sort of matches what I have right now. Maybe 1920 by 40. Okay, that's perfect. So now you can see it fills up my screen. That's the first thing I like to do, is just change the resolution around. The second thing I like to do is, if you go to the bottom and you select devices, you can go ahead and insert this guest edition CD image. What that will do is go ahead and mount the disk where you can go ahead and install the VirtualBox tools that will make your system run smoother on a virtual machine. Now, it's a little different process for every different type of Linux distribution and operating system, so you'll have to go ahead and look that up on your own in order to get those tools successfully installed. But just know that's how you get them onto your machine, at least initially. So just real quick, I'm going to show you around this GNOME desktop, just so you're a little bit familiar. As you can see here on the left-hand side, we have Firefox available to us as our default web browser. Then we have Evolution as our email client, Rhythmbox as a multimedia player, LibreOffice Suite in order to use as a word processor, Files for our file manager, Software as our app manager, and then if you hit show applications, you can see various different applications that we have on the system. If you go out of activities, in the top middle, you have the current time and day, as well as if you click on it, you can see your notifications and a calendar that's available to you. On the top right-hand side, we have the current wired connection that's being emulated by the virtual machine, and the current user that's logged in. We can log out, shut down the computer from here, as well as get into settings. You can also adjust the volume control, but for now I'm just going to go ahead and shut down this virtual machine because we are finished. So now it's available at any time. We want to go ahead and just select Debian Linux and start it back up. I hope you enjoyed this installation tutorial of Debian Linux on VirtualBox. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions in the comments section below. Also, make sure to subscribe for future videos and make sure to like the video. Thanks for watching.